Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
This is the Samsung Galaxy S, available soon on AT&T's network under the Captivate label for $200 with a 2-year contract. And yes, if you didn't catch my remark, available soon. It's not available quite yet, at least at the time of this recording. I've been able to play with it for the past week or so, and despite somewhat moderate usage, I have not charged it since first having turned it on, which of course now it's in power saving mode. So the battery has done, I would say, quite well. Animated wallpaper by default, at least the way that the Samsung Galaxy S was shipped to me. Been pretty happy with it, and I have to tell you that despite a few of the negative remarks about the Samsung Galaxy S, this is the best Android device I have used to date. And as a matter of fact, I'm probably going to be using it as my default Android device at this point in time for a lot of reasons. One, it is extremely lightweight. You could hold this in one hand and the iPhone 4 in the other, and I happen to be recording this video with an iPhone 4 with one hand, so you have to pardon if things are kind of shaking around. So it feels good in the hand. The screen, of course, is large and very, very, very bright. In fact, it's so bright I have the brightness turned all the way down right now. It's using Samsung's new Super AMOLED technology. Basically what that means is it's bright. Like very, very vibrant colors right here on the large screen. And, you know, it's one thing to have a bright screen. It's another thing to have a responsive screen, and that's exactly what I have here in the Samsung Galaxy S. That makes me happy, and what that means is it's got a fast processor sitting inside, which means everything is speedy. Out of the box, the Samsung Galaxy S should not disappoint. At least, again, my experience with it, specifically AT&T's version of the Samsung Galaxy S. Quality hardware for a quality Android experience, at least on version 2.1 of the Android operating system, which is what I'm running right now. Assumedly, the Froyo update will be available. Hey, Lily. Hey, Duncan. A couple of my friends here that I have on the feeds and updates widget connected to my Twitter account. If you didn't already notice, I had uploaded a video review of an iPhone 4 screen protector, which I wasn't very happy about, and I happened to record that video with the Samsung Galaxy S, and I'll get to that in just a bit because people are asking, well, what kind of camera is it? You know, it's got a camera on the smartphone. Is it good? In terms of resolution and capabilities, it's, you know, fantastic. I mean, as far as HD video recording is concerned, but I did run across a few shortcomings with it, but I don't want to discuss that at this point in time. Really wanted to go into the benefits of this particular phone. So this is running TouchWiz 3.0, which is really Samsung's experience on the Android platform. I think some of that's going to be mitigated when Google releases the Gingerbread 3 update. But in terms of usability out of the box, you might remember my Evo 4G review, and I wasn't too happy with a few things about it because, like, the lock screen, it didn't tell you what you needed to do. Well, here the lock screen doesn't tell you what to do, but you can swipe, unless of course I missed the swipe, you can swipe the screen, the lock screen, in any direction. Now remember, this is a default. Any direction will unlock it. That, my friends, is intuitive. Of course, it has haptic feedback on the touchscreen buttons. These are the hardware buttons, but there's nothing to physically press. It's just a single flat surface other than the home button directly in the middle, and you have to pardon as I'm like mistapping and retapping everything on my device because I'm actually looking at this screen through this viewfinder. It's not exactly intuitive, but that's me. The phone's intuitive, but I'm not looking directly. I think you got my point. I'm looking at this phone through this phone. Okay, either way, this is a fantastic Android device, no doubt about it, and especially at the price. $200 for a 2-year contract is pretty compelling, especially when it stacks up against the iPhone 4. And of course, with it running Google Android, you'd expect some over-the-air updates at some point in the future. What I like, beyond the screen, beyond the weight, beyond the speed, which are great things to have in any device, is the fact that Samsung had actually paid attention to what the user might want in a smartphone, specifically pre-installing, and I have to move the screen so it doesn't fall asleep again, the Layer application, which is an augmented reality app. I'm not going to do it right now because I'm not in an area that has anything worth looking at. However, that is a fun application that will deserve a video in and of itself. It also touts the ebook reader. You may have seen the FM player there before, but I also believe that the Think Free Office suite is something that's going to be appreciated by a few individuals out there who are looking for productivity apps on their smartphone. Has everything else that you might expect, on an Android device like Google Talk, the Conduit, Social Hub, making it easier to connect to either Facebook, Twitter, and other social networks right from the convenience of your home screen. And then more than anything, this is really kind of what was impressive to me. When I launched the Samsung's apps application, or the Samsung apps application, I saw a few of these default apps. Now, normally these types of applications as pushed from the manufacturer would suck. However, I looked at one of these called Road SMS, and this is something that's free through the Samsung, app store of sorts. Essentially, what it allows you to do is type on a keyboard and be able to see right through. Like it uses the camera that's on the back. There's no front-facing camera on this particular device, but on the back, and you can type on the screen while being able to watch out where you go. That's kind of neat. So I'm just going to go ahead and update it. It's likely going to give me a warning saying here's what everything accesses. I also like that about the Android operating system, as I pointed out in the past. All right, application installed. I can open it, but of course I'm not really walking anywhere, but maybe this will give you a better idea. So I'm holding it up, zooming it around, and I'm able to use the keyboard with the screen acting kind of like transparent. Hopefully this is making some degree of sense as I wave the phone around. Either way, that's really cool. I will actually use that. It changed my default wallpaper. Nope. Okay, it didn't change my default wallpaper. It was just a screenshot. I was going to be disappointed because the default wallpaper is kind of fun. One of those animated wallpapers that really work well, especially if you have a phone that's fast enough to keep up with what you're doing with the screen. Like I said, responsive screen, lightweight, really the best Android device I have used to date, and that should make all you Fandroids happy. It may not have every piece of hardware that you'd want to have an Android device, but I would say the overall package is pretty impressive. Now, let's get to a couple of negatives. Yes, it does have a replaceable battery on the back. There's the 5-megapixel camera there. But in order to peel off the back, you have to have fingernails or something to jam into the edge of that. And I've had some issues with my lack of fingernails as I just clipped them the other day. Had I known that, I wouldn't have clipped them, and I would have had long fingernails for this review. So if you ever see phone reviewers with long fingernails, the chances are they have to deal with the same kind of scenario. And by the way, it was also noted, even though I haven't had this experience, that there is also a death grip with the Samsung Galaxy S. If held, I guess, in this way, you can imagine your hand cradling it in some capacity. So, as Apple has claimed, that is an issue that is found in other devices. And someone else, not me, has illustrated this on YouTube. We'll have to link off to it in the show notes. And the other piece of sand in the Vaseline, or a fly in the Vaseline, whichever metaphor you care to use. Sand in the Vaseline is a part of a joke. Anyway, in the camera app, as I demonstrated the other day, I don't know if it's the camera app, or specifically the hardware, but for some reason, in either a low-quality setting or a high-quality setting, I get these bars in a low-light environment, high-light environment. And when I say bars, I don't know if you're able to detect that. I know I can through my viewfinder. But essentially, there's these horizontal lines that come through in just every photo and every video. Now, I'm inclined to believe that it is a software problem, or at least I'd hope it's a software problem. There, it kind of flashed that way. If you want to see the full demonstration of that issue, you can take a look at another video that I made specifically recording a problem I had with an iPhone 4 touchscreen, or I guess a screen protector, with this device. And that illustrates it fully. So again, I don't know whose problem that is at this point in time. I've got the brightness turned all the way down on the Samsung Galaxy S right now. If I turn it up a bit more, you may not be able to detect the difference, but I certainly can. And I got to tell you, even at the lowest brightness, it's very, very bright. Responsive, fast, just about anything you would want in an Android device today, got Bluetooth, we've got 802.11n networking capabilities. Of course, you're able to connect over the 3G network on AT&T or the Edge network. Of course, is a pretty good fallback. Good default applications. I mean, theoretically, a good camera. I hadn't been able to test it without seeing those issues at this point in time, so I'm waiting to hear back from everybody involved with this process to make sure that it's just not a potentially faulty unit. But, no phone is perfect. So there you go, some real initial impressions of this Android device, just to show you that I'm really not that biased. I just expect a lot from my devices. And this is a far better Android phone than the Evo by far. I'll carry it around with me. As a matter of fact, that's how good it is. If you disagree, fine. That's, your prerogative, your opinion. I'm not going to fault you for that. You're more than welcome to disagree. You can email me, chris@pirillo.com. You could leave a video post. If you agree, you can do the same thing. Email me or leave a video response. Let's continue the conversation. Facebook.com/Chris Pirillo, Twitter.com/Chris Pirillo. You're also more than welcome to... Oh, wait. Oh, it's rotating. Did I do it wrong? God, I was trying to be elite, but I don't think it worked very well. I suck. All right, let's rotate it back the right way. Just ignore that part. Pretend that didn't happen, right? I'm sure you won't. I bet anything that someone's going to find fault with this video, even though I'm just giving you my initial impressions and they happen to be positive. And I'm trying to tell you that you can live in a world where there are plenty of shades of gray. It's not just black and white, folks. Geeks.Pirillo.com, Chris.Pirillo.com, and of course the live video feed where we are typically talking tech. Yes, sometimes answering questions, not necessarily those through LockerGnome.net, but those being asked in the chat room. That's a part of that video feed. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at live.Pirillo.com. We'll see you later.